Hello and welcome to the International Long Drive Challenge from Montego Bay, Jamaica. We're at the historic Cinnamon Hill Golf Course where Western Canada will take on South Africa Team 1. And now to our host, John Bartlett, and our co-host, Rick Benoit.
Hi everyone, I'm John Bartlett alongside Rick Benoit. Rick, we're getting set for a great international event here. Western Canada and South Africa, a lot of big long drive hitters in this competition.
That's right, John. Look for some big hits in this competition between these two squads. Team Canada, with a lot of veteran hitters coming out to the tee box, can really bring it and hit a long ball. But those South Africans out in the range, I'm telling you, they're all 400 hitters. It's incredible.
And when it comes to the sport of long drive, sometimes you have to deal with the pressures of being in the tee box and not only the event, but the cameras on you as well.
Well, and you know, for some of the newer competitors in the sport, that's obviously a concern, but I don't think we're going to see that in this matchup between these two teams. I think we're going to see some pretty impressive drives.
Good mix of the rookies and veterans coming up here for sure. This event will work like this. Each team will have 3 men's open category hitters, a men's senior hitter, and a ladies division hitter. The top scores will get added up, and the winning team will have the most yardage at the end of the event. Let's get it underway. Western Canada against South Africa. Well, here's a look at our rules and regulations for the event today. Each hitter is going to have 3 minutes to hit their 6 balls. We'll have 2 hitters in the tee box at the same time. The ball must come to rest inside the grid to count, and measurements are taken from the furthest point of the ball. The grid is 420 yards long by 45 yards wide. The clubs cannot exceed 50 inches in length, and all clubs must conform to USGA rules. And there's a look down the grid from the tee box as we get set to go with Western Canada taking on South Africa Team 1. And our first head-to-head competition, we'll see Chris Mason take on Martin Lee.
You know, quite an age difference between these two competitors, but they can both hit a long ball. I'm really excited about these two teams coming to the tee box, John. I'm looking forward to seeing some big hits here.
And the age difference, certainly also the experience as well, but that sometimes can all go to the wayside when you face the pressures of stepping up to the cameras and the tee box and the crowd in this event.
Make no mistake about it, John, you know, Chris Mason's 26 years old, but he's been involved in long drive and been involved in world championships. So if anybody can bring it to the tee box and hit it over 4 bills, it's Chris Mason.
Well, Mason will step up as the first hitter here as he lines up, and we'll get things underway with Western Canada taking on South Africa.
Watch the club head speed here, John. Look at that, right through the ball, and club head speed equals ball speed, which equals distance.
And distance in a big way as Mason opens up with a blast of 410 yards.
What a way to open up, and you know, 410, that's amazing.
Come on, Martin Lee now answering back with a big drive of his own. Look at the opening to this competition, 406 yards.
And that's exactly what I was talking about. We're going to see some big hits for some big hitters. 410 and 406, what a way to open up a show.
Second drive now for Chris Mason. And again, another deep shot heading towards the 400-yard marker.
Chris is really trying to give it here. He's really trying to give everything he's got.
This one stops at 396 yards. Martin Lee now with his second drive. Boy, does he ever get excited behind his shots?
He's liking that one, John. He thinks he caught all of that. Let's see.
It'll roll its way up to the 390-yard marker.
And you know, again, these guys have posted big numbers right off the bat, so they're going for everything here.
There's Chris Mason's 5th drive now. 3 and 4 were out of bounds, and this one will sail out as well.
And you know, this is what I was talking about. You know, sometimes when you get that first ball in and it's a big number, you try and overswing. Let's see if Martin Lee can get it in the grid here.
Well, Martin Lee's 3rd and 4th drive out of bounds, but this one is a huge hit. And you can tell by his excitement it's a big one, as it's not only going to clear the 400, it's going to clear the grid. All the way to 433 yards.
Wow, what a drive. Unbelievable from Martin Lee, and he really took it to Chris Mason there.
And both competitors would go out of bounds on drive number 6, so the 433-yard blast by Martin Lee is the one that stands.
I knew they were going to hit the ball long, and they proved me right. Look at this shoulder turn. His club head's pointing at the ground. Incredible club head speed at the ball.
And even Chris Mason talks about the world-class competitors.
I think it's great what the organizers of this are doing, and the South African team, they're world class, they're elite. I mean, actually changed my strategy because of the quality of these hitters, and I just got to go balls to the wall today. Otherwise, I'll be out of this tournament quickly. So it's a wonderful thing.
On now to the ladies division as Debbie Peaver will square off against Leandri Van Roonen.
Again, you know, quite an age difference here, 41 for Debbie and 19 for Leandri. Experience, again, is going to come into play in the tee box here.
Well, there's Debbie coming out to the tee box now, and Leandri has sort of her own little character when it comes to long drive. And check out the cover on her club head, the big frog.
Well, everyone's got a good luck charm, and I think the frog is it for Leandri, you know. And what can you say about Debbie, 41 years old, been in the tee box before, and hopefully she can bring it to the tee box today.
Well, her first drive is out of bounds. Here's her second one, and oh, she hooks that one incredibly wide. And that also will sail out of bounds, as you can see the wind blowing in the palm trees.
Absolutely. You can see that wind blowing out, you know, from the tee box, which is an advantage to the hitters at this point in time. And look for a big ball here from Leandri.
Well, Leandri did not find the grid in her first shot either. And now she'll step up and hammer this one. And that one looks like it might stick in as it bounces and does roll into the grid, and it will stop at 290 yards on her third drive.
Leandri's posted a number, 290, not bad, but she can do a lot better than that, and she knows it.
On now to drive number 4 for Debbie. Debbie still trying to find the grid, and this time she will.
There we go. Debbie was struggling on her first couple of shots there, but as you can see, she took a little bit off, 85% in her swing, and look at that. Ball finds the grid and not a bad number at all.
297 yards for Debbie Peaver on her fourth drive. That now switches the pressure back to Leandri for drive number 4 of her own.
And she knows she's got to step it up here, John.
And she certainly does. That's a big hit. It's heading down the grid. It'll roll all the way past the 320 by the 330, and it will stop at 344 yards.
And that's a Leandri Van Roonen. We know, you know, out in the range, she was pounding a golf ball out there, and 344, what a number. Incredible.
Sixth and final drive for Debbie Peaver now, and that one she'll pull, and it's going to sail its way out of bounds, so 297 will be her best score.
And, you know, again, it's tough when that big number gets posted at 344. The pressure's definitely on Debbie there, and she didn't come up with the number.
Sixth and final drive for Leandri. Can she pad her numbers? Well, it's a pretty good shot, but it looks like it might be shy of the 344.
And you could see she didn't quite follow through all the way through that golf ball. She kind of checked up before hitting the ball, and that's going to equal club head speed at the ball.
It'll stop at 313, 344, her best drive, and she'll top Debbie Peaver in the head-to-head with the ladies.
And a great competition between these two competitors, but you can see the shoulder turn, and you can see she stays behind the ball. Great power.
And she talks about competing and focusing in the heat.
It's good. It's very warm here today, and so it takes out all my energy. So try to get to concentrate, listen to my iPod. It helps me, and yeah, just try to hit the ball straight for all that stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna try either 355 in the finals, maybe 360 if I can. I must just concentrate on all that stuff. Then I can do it. I know I can do it.
We are through the first 2 rounds, and it's a close one as Team South Africa leads Canada by a mere 70 yards. Stay tuned, more of the big hitters still to come when we return to Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in Montego Bay, Jamaica, in the International Long Drive Challenge.
This portion of the program brought to you by Lanky Rat Creations, original inspired art.
Welcome back to Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in Montego Bay, Jamaica, and the International Long Drive Challenge is just 70 yards, separates Canada and South Africa as we head into round 3 with Team South Africa in the lead over Western Canada. And up next, it is Todd Harold against Sydney Venter.
You got Todd Harold, a longtime long drive competitor, 43 years of age, against Sydney Venter, 33 years old, hitting that crank head of the House of Ford shaft with the longest drive of 430 yards. Let's see if he can bring it to the tee box here against 397 of Todd Harold.
And out come the competitors, ready to roll. It'll be Sydney Venter that will hit first.
These South Africans, John, they can really pound a golf ball. You know, in the range, watching them hit, they can really hit that 400 mark consistently.
Well, we had Leandri that had the frog club head cover, and when it comes to Todd Harold, he's got the nice loud pants.
Yeah, he likes his loudmouth pants, that's for sure. I think he accredits himself as part of a loudmouth team at some point in time.
Here's the first drive by Sidney Venter, and that is a deep blast to kick things off. And if you want to open up with a good drive to get in the grid, how about this one? All the way to 391 yards.
He's got to be happy with that. 391, what a great opener for your first ball. You know you can let loose on the next 5.
So Todd Harold now wants to find the grid on his opening drive. And that's a pretty good start as it will find its way down the grid.
Again, a good start, for Todd. He found the grid on his first ball. He's got 5 more to make up. He knows he's got to bring his best to the tee box if he's going to beat Sidney.
339 yards for Todd Harold. Now we move on to Sidney Venter in his second drive.
Going into this round between these two competitors, only 70 yards was difference between the two teams. Todd really knows he's got to step up against Sidney here.
Sidney unloads a big drive, and this one looks even better than his first. He'll top that 391 as this one sails to the 400-yard marker, and it will come to a rest at 407 yards.
Awesome club head speed. Great delivery through the golf ball, 407. Todd knows what he has to do here.
And this is where sometimes you put the pressure on yourself and you end up hitting the ball out of bounds, as Todd has done on his second, third, and now fourth drive.
Yeah, we try and overcompensate sometimes for what we're doing wrong, and unfortunately, instead of taking it at 85% and finding a good swing and following through the golf ball, we either push it or pull it out of bounds.
Sixth and final drive here for Sidney Venter. He has not put one in the grid since his second drive. That was 407 yards, and he knows right away that one won't make it either.
Yeah, Sidney pushed that one out to the right. Good club head speed, but you know what? His hands were a little late coming through the ball, left the club face open a little bit.
So a chance here for Todd Harold on his final drive to try and crack that 407 marker, but he has hooked it up and it's going to sail outside of the grid and be out of bounds.
And Todd knew it as soon as he hit it. And again, these competitors have been in this sport for a long time. They know as soon as that ball leaves the club head, whether it's in or out.
So Sidney Venter has the top drive with 407 yards.
You can see his setup is good wide stance, solid base, good balance, and right through the golf ball.
And Todd Harold, the longtime Canadian long driver, has his unique sense of style.
I'm here to compete in the International Long Drive Challenge. I've been a long driver out of Canada for about 10 years now, since 2000. And I was asked to be a part of this team and help run the event, so I came down to Jamaica and had a great week so far. They've been fantastic to us here at Cinnamon Hill. Robert Ames and his staff are a great group, and we've had a lot of fun down here. Well, those are part of the Loudmouth Golf lineup, the same stuff that you see on PGA Tour with John Daly, and I just like to be one of the Loudmouths, so I've got a group of Loudmouth pants, and I'm proud to be part of their team.
After 3 rounds, it is Canada trailing South Africa, but they're close, about 140 yards apart. And when we return, more big hitters still to come on the International Long Drive Challenge. Western Canada against South Africa. Stay tuned.
This portion of the program brought to you by Starks Golf Course. Great family golfing.
Welcome back to Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It's the International Long Drive Challenge as Western Canada takes on Team South Africa. And we move to round 4, the senior men's division, where we will see Daryl Braniff square off with Harold Coetzee.
And now we're 140 yards apart. Team Canada trailing by 140 yards. Daryl Braniff really needs to step up to the plate here and gain some yardage back against the rookie Harold Coetzee.
And you can see 426 yards is the longest drive for Daryl Braniff, so he certainly does have the distance in his golf bag.
And again, we're senior competitors. We're going up against each other. We have a rookie in the tee box in Harold Coetzee and a long-time long drive veteran in Daryl Braniff.
And Braniff steps up for drive number 1. And his first ball is hooking outside of the grid, and it will be out of bounds.
Not following through quite enough on his ball yet, leaving that club face just a little bit open on his follow through. He's got to come through the ball just a little bit harder.
A gorgeous view outside of the grid here in this golf course, right along the ocean like that, as Harold Coetzee now gets ready for his first drive. Takes his time, and he's going to put his first one in the grid.
And that's the way it's done. You know, Harold Coates, he knows he's got to post the number. His team is winning. He knows he has to post a number out in the grid, and he's done just that.
333 yards for the opening score of this round.
Harold's got to be happy, and so does his team. Let's see what Daryl can do.
Well, both players going out of bounds in their second shot, and Daryl Braniff here in his third drive is going to put one in the grid. And it's looking pretty good. He's got one in there, and that will stop just short of the 360 at 358 yards.
And Daryl's done his job at 358 on his third ball. He can let loose now on his last three. That's the whole idea.
Now Harold Coatsey with a little bit of pressure on him for his third drive, as he now knows he has to beat that 358 marker.
Not a bad swing at all, and he's happy with that, you know. Inside his swing pattern, and just out of bounds by a little bit. Kind of a cut there.
So Daryl Braniff now stepping up for his fourth drive. He got a good piece of that one.
Daryl knows it too. He's looking that one down the grid, and he's got to be happy with that, and so does Team Canada.
That one will sail its way past the 360, clearing the 370-yard marker at 373 yards.
373, great ball for Daryl. Harold knows he's got to hit a big ball here to catch up to Daryl with that score.
And this will be his last chance, sixth and final drive for Harold Coatsey. And he pops that one up, and it's going to sail its way outside of the grid and out of bounds.
Yeah, a bit of a pop-up there for Harold, but still not a bad set with the 333 posting, but not as good as Daryl Braniff at that 373.
No, the 373 will work in the senior men's as Braniff takes it head-to-head.
Good setup, good solid wide stance, and he falls right through that golf ball.
Well, here's Robert Ames, the Director of Operations for Cinnamon Hill Golf Course, telling us about the history.
Cinnamon Hill's got so much history here that when you play the golf course, not only is it a golf experience, it's a historical tour also. We've got the Rose Hall Great House in the background. Then you've got Johnny Cash's house where he wintered for 30 years and did all of his writing and his recouping from the tour. We've got the waterfall on hole number 15. That's where we filmed James Bond's movie Live and Let Die. Then you got the aqueduct on holes number 17 and 18, and right behind me here on number 7 fairway. It's just so much history that lends from the old sugar plantation, and now the designers did a great job of combining history with golf course, so it's a complete experience.
After 4 rounds, it is Canada trailing South Africa by 98 yards. The 5th and final round coming up next when we return, as Rick Benoit will square off against Lumar Fori when the International Long Drive Challenge continues.
This portion of the program brought to you by Joe Sutherland Rentals for all your television production needs.
Welcome back to Cinnamon Hill Golf Course in Montego Bay, Jamaica. It's the International Long Drive Challenge with Western Canada taking on South Africa. And South Africa has a 98-yard lead as Lumar Fori will step up against our own Rick Benoit.
And you know, John, I know going into this, Lumar Fori can hit a 400 ball with ease. I know I'm going to have to do my best in that tee box if I'm going to beat him.
A little bit of a breeze, maybe playing a factor as well, or maybe helping.
Well, you know what? That wind seems to be coming off on an angle diagonally to the tee box. So depending on your ball flight, it could help you or it could hold you up and hurt you.
Lumar Fori will hit first as he lines up for the tee box. His first shot out of bounds as he gets set for drive number 2. And like you said, he regularly can hit balls in the 400 range. Let's see what he does here. Boy, does he make that look effortless.
Yeah, just an easy swing through the ball, but a great shoulder turn, great weight shift from that right leg to the front leg, and he swings through the golf ball.
And with ease, puts it up to 397 yards.
Yeah, and I know I got my work cut out for me here, John. 397 is nothing to sneeze at. I know he can do better than that, and I got to do better than he does.
Second drive for Rick Benoit, and that one's going to chase Foray's ball right down the grid.
Not a bad swing, but still not following through just enough. And hitting down that left side, there's not as much run on that left side as the right.
381 yards, still a pretty good shot for the second drive.
Not bad. I posted a number for my team, and that's what it's all about. Now I can let loose on my next 4.
Lumar Foray now up for his third drive, seeing if he can top that 397 marker. But this one he pulls outside of the grid, and it looks like it'll be out of bounds.
Again, you know, effortless swing. He's got a great shoulder turn. He stays well behind that golf ball and falls right through it.
You talked about it putting up a score and maybe being able to relax, rip it and grip it and go for a big drive.
Yeah, you know, and that's the whole object of the game is, you know, you post that score and you try and get one longer in the next drive.
375 yards in drive number 3. As we now jump ahead to Lumar Foray's 5th drive, he's knocked the last 2 out of bounds.
And he's not going to be happy with a 397. I know he's going for 4 bills.
And you can hear him and his teammates. That's what he's talking about. And look at this. Driving it right to the end of the grid and stops just short at 419 yards.
And that's classic Lumar Foray there for you. He can hit that ball 400 with ease.
6th and final drive for Rick Benoit. And that one is going to sail out of bounds. So 381 the best, with Lumar Foray's 419 the winner.
And again, you can see it here in Lumar's swing. He sets up good solid base, good balance, good shift, good weight transfer, and through the golf ball.
And for Lumar, it's all about representing South Africa.
We were actually invited. We were part of the quantum driving team in South Africa. We played finals there, and then we came through to here. This is the international long driving event in Jamaica, so we want to keep South Africa's name high. Oh no, it's been fantastic so far. I mean, the organisation, everything that's been put into this event has been fantastic. It's great that they actually give the world a chance to come and show what they got in long driving. So.
Here's a look at our final numbers for the day for Team South Africa. Martin Lee with a drive of 430 yards, but 3 of the 5 competitors clear the 400-yard marker. Meanwhile, for Team Canada, Chris Mason knocks it to 410 as he is best in the red and white today. But the final score will show South Africa just out on top in this competition that was very close, winning it by 131 yards.
131 yards, not a bad showing by Team Canada against, you know, long drivers from Team South Africa. Great competition.
Time now for the big hit of the game, and we'll take you back to South Africa's Martin Lee with his big blast of 433 yards. Well, Rick, an unbelievable event here today as South Africa wins. Martin Lee has the longest drive at 433 yards, knocking the ball right off the grid. But today really did show the international level of talent we have in long drive.
What an incredible competition between these two teams. What a lead-off between Chris Mason and Martin Lee. 433 for Martin and 410 for Chris Mason. It doesn't get any better than that in long drive.
And you always talk about trying to get that first ball in the grid and go from there. They wasted no time in hitting the long balls right off the opening of their head-to-head competition. Now, if you're at home and you're a long drive hitter and want to try and take part in an international long drive challenge, you can, and all you have to do is go online.
That's right. Go online to www.internationallongdrive.com. Look for a local qualifier nearest to where you live, and you too can be a long driver in an international competition.
And maybe we'll see you competing for your country in an upcoming International Long Drive Challenge event. Well, that'll do it for our show here today. Thanks for watching. For Rick Benoit, I'm John Bartlett. We'll see you next time.
For further information on local qualifying events, log on to www.internationallongdrivechallenge.com.